Over the last several months, since the Flash Season 9 has started filming, Teddy Sears, who played Zoom on The Flash, obviously, has been teasing pretty much nonstop that he's going to be appearing in Season 9, but there's been like zero confirmation or anything like that. He's just teasing it at this point. He's, just on and off. And 6 days ago, at the point I'm recording this, it is Sunday, January 22nd, Tony Todd, who voiced Zoom, the voice of Zoom, because there were two different people, Teddy Sears and Tony Todd. For when the mask was on Zoom, there was a different voice. It was not Teddy Sears, it was Tony Todd. He liked and retweeted a tweet asking he's coming back as Zoom, or at least for the Zoom voice, and he liked it and retweeted it. So, if that's not saying that he's coming back, I don't know what is. Now, another thing to point that Zoom is coming back is that Tom Cavanaugh is directing somewhere for some show, we don't know what, but considering he replied with a black heart, fist, and a lightning bolt, I would assume the Flash, and the fact that he put a black heart there, Zoom, I would assume that he's appearing in the episode. Just me assuming. Which, I literally did a video like a week ago. I think I did it, hold on. 11 days ago, I literally did a video about the possibility of Harry Wells appearing in Flash Season 9, and what that whole thing could be like, or how he could come back. I mean, having Zoom and Harry in one episode, that would be like a Season 2, like, nostalgia episode right there. I mean, that would be like, I think probably the second best episode of the season, next to 909, with Oliver, Dick, Wally all returning. But assuming it's even that, I mean, the fact that Teddy Sears literally commented that on the post of Tom Cavanaugh, which he posted today, by the way, the 22nd of January, saying that he's directing for some show, he's not saying what. I would assume it's for The Flash, because the only things he's directed, as far as I'm aware, is The Flash, Superman and Lois. He's already directed for Superman and Lois, Season 3, again, as far as I'm aware. So, for The Flash Season 9, I wouldn't be so surprised if he's starting for The Flash Season 9 and Teddy Sears is in the episode, and while since he's there as directing, they bring him back as Harry, or some Harrison Wells. I don't see them bringing him back as Thawne in this episode if he is back. Although at the same time, Thawne and Zoom teaming up would be pretty cool, even though they literally tease Zoom and Godspeed teaming up, not Thawne and Zoom. But you could always argue the case that, that future news article where we saw Zoom and Godspeed teaming up was just a future out of like 1 billion, right? I mean, that was a Still Force episode. Dion literally said in the episode that, we're going to be seeing different futures shifting in and out. Like we saw that newspaper literally say a second before that scene with the article with Zoom and Godspeed, where when it saw his particle accelerator went off, everyone died in there. No one survived that. Or no, it was 2013, so it would have been when that Christmas episode, whatever it was, when the particle accelerator blew up and Barry was hard to Flash, everyone died in there. There was no Barry, Caitlin, Cisco, all the Menace down there. They all died in that one future. So the fact that this, that future news article could change like any moment. How the future article that said Barry would vanish in 2024 changed like 10 different times. So it's not really full-fledged force to say, oh yeah, it's Thawne and Zoom now, not Zoom and Godspeed. They can always do that. Which I think it would be a much bigger team-up if it was Thawne and Zoom, particularly Tom's son and Zoom teaming up. But I just love Tom's son, especially Season 8. I loved him more than I think I ever have of the series. Which I know for a lot of people, he's been overused, which I see why, but I don't really care. I prefer Tom over Matt any day of the year. Um, so, again, look, getting back to the point of the video, I would be somewhat surprised if Teddy's not in this season, and by Teddy I mean Zoom. I mean, the fact that both the actor and the voice of Zoom now are both teasing, a possible return for the Flash Season 9, it's just like, it doesn't sit well with me that this is not confirming that they're back. You can't tell me it's not. If you had to tell me that this is not confirming they're back, I don't know what confirming is then. I really don't know what is. I don't know. Then I would be generally surprised at this point if they're not in season 9. Or at least, Zoom isn't, because we won't see Tony, we'll see Teddy in the suit. But the point is that, they're most likely coming back. And personally, I'm excited for it, because Zoom is easily the second best villain in the series. I think that's for everyone. For some, it's the best, the favorite villain in the show. But, I mean, Eric Wallace has been saying nonstop for the last 3 years that he wants Zoom on the Flash again. They just had to find a way. They couldn't really do that till this season anyways, because season 8, how would you even get Zoom back in season 8? Season 8 would have been the last chance if we didn't get season 9 to get him back. There wouldn't have been a chance to get him back. I mean, the reverse Flashpoint, really? No. The only way Zoom could have fit into the reverse Flashpoint era was, let's say Damien Darker was Hunter Zolomon. That's the only way I could see that ever playing out for him returning in that way. Past Armageddon, I mean, Deathstorm, why would Zoom show up there? And in the last ever novel, Zoom's is not connected to the negative Speed Force. He's connected to the positive. We know that already. He just channels it with V9 and becomes a more powerful speedster. We've known that since season 2. Now, unless they're going to retcon some things in season 9, which, you could argue is post-crisis, we haven't seen Zoom since season 5, which is pre-crisis. So they can argue that post-crisis Zoom is part of the negative Speed Force and, all this crap. You could go down that route. I'm sure Eric Wallace will abuse that. Not in a bad way. I'm sure he'll do good with it. But this would also help tie in some loopholes post-crisis to where everyone on Earth Prime doesn't know there's a multiverse, and there never has been. Besides people who remember pre-crisis. Which, Barry throwing lightning in season 1 era post-crisis. We saw that in 616 or 18, 17, whatever episode the Godspeed was in season 6. In the back half, not the first half, the back half. Where Harley Rothway came in and they teamed up, took down Godspeed and that. We saw Barry in the OG suit, the season 1 suit with the red emblem, throwing lightning. So, it's kind of a loophole here because Jay Garrick, or the fake Jay Garrick, not the real one, the fake Jay Garrick taught Barry how to throw lightning. And it ended up affecting Barry some episodes later when Zoom threw that lightning bolt back at Barry. It was an amazing fight, and probably one of the best fights the show's ever had, at least in the OG seasons era. It was probably one of the best fights the show's ever had at that point in time. Was that big fight, and I think in 207? Because I remember it was before the crossovers. This was probably 207, there or 206. Might have been 206. Because I think 207 was Bear recovering. And then 208 was the crossover. I think. I have to look back on it, but again, I could be wrong. But so if they are bringing Zoom back, one of the main things I would like to come out of this is for some time to be filled in, obviously, post-crisis. Because, there were, 14 billion changes or something like that? Or whatever Gideon said, there are billions of changes that happen post-crisis. a few of them relate to Zoom. I would like to know them. It'd be nice to know, to understand post-crisis Zoom. Also, another thing that could be looking at here is, could he be getting a new suit? Because Zoom's suit is literally the season 2 Flash suit, just dark. I'm sure everyone knows that by now. It has so much additional details in the suit, but the outer lining detail of Zoom's suit is straight up the season 2 suit, which was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Zoom could use a new suit. Thawne got one after 8 years having the same suit. Now the thing for Zoom and Thawne is that in the comics, Professor Zoom's suit, which is Hunter Zolomon, his suit is literally the same as Thawne's, but kind of different. Like, he has the red boots, but he has a full-on yellow suit, a big emblem, and his eyes are like black on the outside and red on the inside, like Thawne's usually are. They kind of got away from that in later seasons, which is fine, doesn't really matter. But, this could be leading up to a new suit for Zoom. I wouldn't, don't read too much in that, because they didn't give Wally a new suit after 8 years, 7 years. 6 years? 6 years, because he's 9, so 6 years. But 2 years of not seeing Wally, they didn't give him a new suit for one episode, so I'd be a little bit surprised if they gave him a new suit. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel if they give him a new suit, because it would kind of take away from we wouldn't have that Zoom mask, right? We wouldn't have that. We'd have a Thawne season 8 version style mask, where it's like Barry's mask, just, opposite colors with the yellow and red. That's Professor Zoom's suit. It's just, no black, it's just all yellow with black in the eyes, and that's it. They could do that. It's just, again, how would you get the voice? And honestly, Tony Todd returning, assuming this is that case where he's teasing it, if they didn't need him and they were going to be seeing Teddy's mouth move, why would you need to show, or more rather, why would you need to bring in Tony Todd to do the voice of Zoom when you'd be seeing Teddy's mouth move? Well, you know one that thinks that's weird? I think it'd be much more fitting if it was like an updated version of a Zoom suit that's still all black, but it's like updated earpieces to match Barry's, and maybe some like lines throughout the suit, like dark grayish lines to make the suit pop out more. You could give him like dark gray boots. I don't know. Just to update his suit some, but still keep that mask that like covers his whole face. That has like the holes in his mouth and they're just all demonic, and his claw hands are, still there. You could easily pull that off, if this is that. If it's not that, I don't know what the hell it is, and I'm losing my crap. But, assuming it is that, I think it would be pretty cool to see Zoom in a new suit, assuming it's, not entirely different like I was bringing up. But, it is kind of an outdated suit. It's still one of the best suits in the show, next to Bears and Thawne's. But, it does need a new remodel. And I'm assuming the suit's pretty much worn down at this point. It's been 4 years since we've seen this Zoom. So, and even then the suit didn't look that bad. I mean, you could tell it's probably a new suit, because they probably had to remake it. But, yeah. I would be a little bit surprised if he didn't come back in a new suit. Just a little bit. Not much. And again, you can make Zoom come back by post-crisis changes. Maybe Zoom didn't die, become Black Flash, maybe he's just in Iron Heights. Or Speed Force Prison. Maybe they put post-crisis Barry before our Barry got sucked back into post-crisis. Or not back into, but into post-crisis. post-credits period before Crisis made Speed-Force Prison, where he locks Avatar up and, you know, all these other villains. Maybe he locks Zoom up there. He didn't become Black Flash, he just locks Zoom up. And then Zoom gets out of the Speed Force and, you know, whatever. All that Speed Force died, so I guess that wouldn't really be accurate. But my point is, is that there are a ton of ways that Zoom could come back in present day that wouldn't lead to him, you know, tying his season 2 ending where he died to the time race and becoming Black Flash. So, it is possible. It just depends how the writers go with it. Which, you know, 50-50, but it's going to be very, very, very interesting, and I'm all here for it, so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for the video. Have a good day, have a good night, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.